Sup, I would like to tell you about faction warfare farming. In my opinion, if you are a new player, this is one of the best ways to get started in the game. After getting to tier 4 gear, I'm gonna try to go over some basic info so that you can get started in this type of content. So the faction wars in Albion allow the player to earn lots of silver, fame and faction points that can be redeemed for other items that I'll show at the end of the video. The first thing that we have to do before getting started is obviously to get a build, since we're going to go into red zones. Those have a full loot PvP, and that means that we can lose it. So our gear will have mobility and invisibility spells that we can use to reset mobs and run away from other players. I suggest a build like this. Basically just select the abilities and the passives that I'm showing on the screen. So we start off with the Assassin's Jacket. We are going to use that one for invisibility. Then we go to the Assassin's Hood. It could really be any leather helmet, but in this one we have 3 abilities that are really useful for us. Since we don't have a cape, because the cape is pretty expensive. The first good ability on this helmet is the shield. It will restore 25% of our missing energy, not the total energy, just the missing energy. It will restore that energy back once we press the button, as well as give us a small shield that we can use to absorb some damage. Next ability is Cleanse. It allows to unstun ourselves if we are getting stunned by players. Just be aware that if you get time stopped by a arcane, you cannot escape out of that one. But this is one of my favorite spells to use. It is also very useful if you're playing healer, because in groups and small scale groups, you will have to use that ability to get yourself unstunned. And we have a third ability that pretty much just accelerates every single cooldown that we have, which is just generally just useful. And for the boots, you can use pretty much any boots, as long as you are using the sprint ability, which is the second ability in every single boot. But these boots have cooldown refresh, which allows you to throw more spells. For consumables, I recommend Invis pots, so that we can have another Invis to escape from players, or maybe in some dire situations to reset mobs. And also a soup. I'm using a tier 5 soup because that's the one that gives us the most regen out of combat. So basically we'll be able to reset our HP between pools of mobs, and that will make us self-sufficient. So the build that I'm currently showing is worth 60k without the consumables and 100 with the consumables, at least on Europe. It is important to take in mind that we are using a tier 3 horse. It's pretty much the best mount for the money, and all of our gear is excellent condition, which is slightly more expensive, but also gives us slightly more item power that gives us some more damage and stuff. But in terms of the horse, which is our mount, that gives us more carry weight. It just adds more carry weight to our character. It acts as an extra bag, pretty much. Technically, you can just do this content without any type of gear, just by having a mount and a bag. But I suggest not doing that, because otherwise you will not be able to earn any faction coins or fame. So once we have our gear, we go to the faction NPC and we enlist into the faction warfare. I suggest enlisting with Lyndhurst, at least on EU, since they seem to be the strongest and have the most points at this moment. All the faction NPC locations in each city are on the screen. So after we have enlisted, your shield icon on the profile will transform into the city's banner. By clicking this button, we can exit the faction warfare mode, but do take in mind that it will take some time to do that. And now we can interact with the carriage that is next to the NPC. That will allow us to get into the battle almost instantly. We can select one of the red zones, since those give better rewards, and for a low sum of money, We will be transported there. Once we are in the zone, be aware of the spotters that are usually standing next to the place that you spawn in. If there are hostile players on the map, those spotters will give them info on where you are, and that is not very good. You do not want to be spotted by the spotters while there are hostile players on the map. So I suggest just turning back and swapping to the next zone, which should be like behind you when you spawn, and just pressing R while you're mounted to come back to the city. This will take some money from you, but it is very cheap. So now that we are in the zone, we should look for a big circle called the blob. That is the color of your faction. This is where all of the players from your faction are currently. Just be careful that the Limhurst blob is dark green and could be confused with the black blob, which is Carleon's blob. It is very important that you pay attention to the color of the blob, since if it's not the same color of your faction, it's going to be a hostile faction, which are not shown as hostile players under the minimap. Those players can kill you and will appear as if they were hostiles for you, but they're not counted for hostile players under the minimap. Once we meet up with the faction players, we should just follow them and spam the join on their profiles so that we can get into a group. It is very important that you get yourself into a big group, since without it, you won't be able to earn any fame or faction coins from the mobs, but you will still be able to earn silver and fame from the chest. There are lots of players, it will be difficult to get into a group because the limit is 20 people. If you're struggling to get into a group, you can make your own. For that, you will have to ask nearby players to join you by opening and typing into the chat /s and pressing space. You'll be able to switch to the bubble chat, which will give you the ability to type above your head to ask other people to join you. So what we are interested in is these camps that are on the map. There are two types of camps, small and big. The big ones logically give better rewards, but are slower to clear. There are also outposts that are capturable and allow you to capture the zone. Those only give you faction coins, but they give you a very decent amount of those if you actually manage to capture them. You can also repair your gear on one of those outposts. There's like a small repair table that you can interact with. So all of these activities except the outposts are pretty much based around cleaning out mobs inside the camp and claiming the reward in the chest that will spawn in the middle. It is not necessary to kill any mobs to be able to get your share at the chest. You can just be close to the camp at the moment of its clearance to be able to loot the chest. While doing these camps, prioritize the mobs that are getting damaged by the members of your own group. They have a greenish nameplate and HP bar. It is important that you stick to them so that you are in range for getting the rewards from mob kills and to secure the kills for your own party, because if a different group deals more damage to a specific mob, you will not get any rewards. If you are receiving too much damage from mobs, you have to let other players get aggro, and you can also use the jacket ability to go invisible so that you can reset its aggro on you. You can also mount up and reset the aggro, but you have to not take damage while mounting up, or the mounting progress will reset, and also not to be mounting up near the mob, because otherwise you can re-aggro on you. It is very important that you pay attention to the screen while doing this type of content, and that you are aware of the amount of hostile players that are in the area. If there are any enemy blobs, beware of their location. If you sense any danger, don't be afraid to run away if you are a new player, since your gear usually doesn't have enough damage to do anything against even a small group that knows what they're doing. You can see the amount of hostile players in the area below your minimap, but be careful, that doesn't mean that there's no hostile factions. If there's an enemy blob from a different faction, you won't be able to see how many of them, because they're not counted for hostile players. The only players that are counted for hostile players are the ones that have flagged for PvP and are not in any of the factions. Those people will be able to kill anyone on the map. Also, keep your eyes peeled for any red nameplates that are near you, especially when opening the chests, since most of the times the actual hostile damage will be concentrated into the huge clumps of players, so that they can kill lots of players at the same time. When you think that you have enough loot, you can again press R while riding your mount to teleport back to the city. The ability does not allow you to travel back if there's a lot of players nearby. So on the screen you can see some examples of what drops from these chests. Usually the small camps give tomes or items that are worth from 10k to 200k of silver. The big camps give tomes or items worth from 200k of silver up to 1 million, depending on your luck. In my opinion, this is a very good source of silver. It gives too much as of the time of posting this video. It is true that you might get killed or that the chests only give you tomes for a little while, but usually in my experience, even outside the prime time, I was able to earn 4 million of silver in about an hour and a half, plus some extra faction coins and some fame. And speaking of prime time, it is advisable for you to play during the prime time of the server that you're playing on. But in my experience, you can find people playing this 24/7. Just a quick side note, if your party gets bombed or there's a bunch of corpses, you can actually loot everyone that is in your party and get even more loot. I am telling you to do this because everyone else will be doing this to you, so don't let anyone take your loot away. This content gives enough money for everyone, so there's no point in sharing. There are also some details that are left, like the faction castles and such, but I don't think they're relevant for a new player at this moment. You can find more info on the Albion wiki, or if you are interested, you can drop a comment and I'll try to respond. So let me show you what you can actually get for the faction coins that you have earned. So there's some crafting resources for the caves, some cosmetics and baby mounts that you have to grow on your personal island. But there's also this chest that I'm just opening on the screen, and that gives you a bit of silver, some tomes and some resources. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate if you like this video and subscribe. Anyways, good luck with your farm.